Hello everyone, happy Friday. Welcome. We are here on day 5. Can you believe that? You have been persistent, you've been sticking it out, and here we are on day 5 in unleashing your purpose. How are we all feeling? How are we doing? How are we enjoying, the workshops, the trainings, the workbook? Are we finding value? Really just wanted to do a quick check-in to hear from each of you because I want to ensure that you are getting as much value as you possibly can as you're going through this process and through your journey this week. And so if you have any questions at all, please drop them in the comments below because part of today is question and answers. And so if you have any questions, would love to hear from you. Hello, Martinette, watching from New York. Good to have you here. And so today we're going to be talking about the power in decision making. And this is something that I believe really strongly about because all too often we consume ourselves with having to make a decision. And so really wanted to discuss that, wanted to talk about the whole process, wanted to talk about how our paradigms and our beliefs keep us stuck in not being able to make a decision one way or another, and to give you some strategies to really help you in terms of moving forward. So before we get into it, just a few housekeeping that I wanted to share with each of you. Really wanted to thank you again. I know I say this every day, but I come from a place of gratitude. And if it's not for each and every one of you who are participating, who are engaging, who are, hopping on a breakthrough call with me, then this would be for nothing. Because really what I'm here to do is to help each and every one of you. This is my purpose. My purpose is to provide you with value, with strategies that you can take day to day. And so really just wanted to thank all of you for participating and for engaging. So as you're hopping on to this live, or if you're catching it on a replay, please engage below. Ask questions, make comments, because we all learn from each other and we all support each other. And so that's really important as we are going through this process. And again, just a reminder, if you are wanting to book a breakthrough activation call, just let myself or Jordana know, and we will ensure that you get that information so that you can get in. This is, again, a free gift to each and every one of you. And I have made myself available all this week throughout this training so that you can really tap into what you need and get tangible strategies to move forward in your personal journey of unleashing your purpose. And again, the workbook. Some of you have reached out and said you still haven't been able to find the workbook. So let us know. It is in Unit 1 here in the group. But if you're having difficulty, let us know. The workbook is really important because, again, and repetition is key. You are here and you are learning and you are participating, but part of moving you past is the application. And so you really need to get the workbook. And in that workbook, at the end, I have included a gratitude practice because I really truly believe that this sets you up for the success that you require in terms of figuring out your purpose, figuring out your goals, and just the way you view and approach life. That is a 7-day guided gratitude practice. And so I would really encourage you to participate that and hopefully to continue that practice beyond. That is my hope for each and every one of you. So the trainings are all available in Unit 1. So if you miss the lives, you can catch the trainings in Unit 1 on a replay. Now, it's important to note that the trainings will be removed. And so they will likely be taken out of the group by the middle of next week sometime. And so I encourage you, to get on those replays and to watch those trainings. The last live is going to be here in the group on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is where we're going to be doing a wrap up. We're going to be discussing our wins, our takeaways, and we are going to be doing a live draw for the $250 giveaway. So for those of you who have taken advantage of this giveaway, congratulations, you're in the draw. If you would like information on this giveaway, it's not too late. Drop giveaway in the comments below and we'll make sure to get that information to you. Okay, so today we are here to talk about the power of decision making. And I really truly feel, as I mentioned, that we get so stuck. We get so stuck when we're having to make important decisions. And sometimes we're even stuck on decisions that don't hold that much importance. And so let's talk about why that is. Let's talk about why that happens and how we can get ourselves out of this stuckness that we find ourselves in, okay? So your whole life, really and truly, is impacted by the power in your ability to make decisions one way or another. This is a mental activity. Decision making is a mental activity that only you can control. You are the only one that has power over whether or not you make a decision. And how you manage this power will ultimately determine your overall success. It really and truly will. And so you can see where the ability to make decisions is really, really important. Your overall health, your mind, your body, your spirit. It's not just success in a professional career, but it impacts every little aspect of your life. It really and truly does. And so you need to understand that all of these facets are impacted by your decision, by your ability to make these decisions. It's all impacted by it. And so what we often find is a stumbling block to making decisions is usually based in circumstances. That's where we usually find the barriers or where we usually find the stumbling blocks. So how often have you heard people say, I would love to travel, but X, Y, and Z? Or I would love to be able to read more, but, and then, there's a reason. So what comes after the but is the circumstance. That there is the circumstance. And what you need to understand and what you need to realize is that circumstances may create a detour in your life. They may create that, but they should not stop you. They should not stop you from making a decision. Detours are okay. Pivoting is okay. Shifting is okay. But ultimately, in the end, a decision still needs to be made, one way or another. So you should not be allowing these circumstances to hold you in that indecision. That's a really important point to realize. Hey, Delroy, thanks for joining. And so this worry, because that's what ends up happening, right? You're faced with these circumstances and then it becomes worry and it holds you. And so worry, what you need to understand, is a state of mind. Worry is a state of mind. And it really and truly is based on your fears. If you dig down deep and you try to figure out what that worry is based in, guaranteed, 110%, it boils down to a fear. It boils down to a fear. And this is essentially sustained because of your indecision. And that's why you end up in this cycle. So you have a decision to make. You allow circumstances to then create worry, which then creates fear, which then feeds into your indecision. And it continues on a vicious cycle. So I want you to think of a time. I want you to think of a time where you were faced with having to make a decision. That's right, Delroy. You know what? That's a really good point. Before I hop into what I was just going to say, Delroy is stating to worry is to use your imagination against you. That's exactly what you're doing. And so yesterday we talked about the power in imagination and how that can help you to manifest the life of your dreams. So if you're using your imagination in a negative way, that's not bringing you closer towards your dreams. And so it breeds this worry, which then breeds indecision. And so I want you to think of a time. I want you to think of a time when you were faced with having to make a decision. Bring it clearly into your mind. What was the decision you need to make? And how did it make you feel? What were your emotions around this really important decision? What were you feeling? I bet you were probably feeling worried. You may have been feeling nervous. You might have started down that path of trying to figure out all the various scenarios that could happen. Who here does that? Who here goes down the path of what if? If you do, drop what if in the comments below, because that is something that is so common, but it's so detrimental because you're worried about the future that hasn't even happened. And then the what ifs are the energy that you're putting out into the world. Were you stressed when you were having to make this decision? Did you feel tension? Were you moody? Were you snapping at loved ones? All of those things can happen from having to make a decision and staying stuck in that. Because what ends up happening when you're stuck in it is this ambivalence that is happening. It just creates unproductivity. You can't move forward if you are ambivalent. You can't. It's impossible to move forward if you remain in a state of ambivalence. So what does that do to your mind? What does that do to your body, to your health? It doesn't feel good. Yet we do it to ourselves all the time because we're allowing our fears to take over. This is where the power of the mind is so imperative. So I want you now to take that scenario and to think about what happened when you made the decision. When you finally made that decision, what happened? I bet all of the above that we just talked about, all of the worries, the tension, I bet that disappeared. I bet that disappeared. So that's because when you have an unsettled mind, when your mind remains ambivalent, when it remains unsettled, when it remains helpless, you're keeping your mind helpless. That's the indecision. The indecision causes this unsettled mind. And then what happens is it breeds worryitis. You know, this is something that Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich. Excellent book, by the way, if you haven't read it. But he talks about this state of worryitis. And so it just becomes this cycle of negativity and ambivalence. And it's not good for you, and it's not good for your soul. Ultimately, it's not good for your soul, for your spirit. So worry breeds ambivalence. Worry breeds ambivalence, which then breeds the indecision. So what do you think? What do you think underlies all of this? Because we do it. We do it all the time, where we fail to make decisions. And we know and we can identify that it's not healthy for us, it's not helping us. So what underlies all of that? Well, what I am going to say to you is what underlies all of this is self-image. Your self-image plays a paramount role in your ability to make decisions or not make decisions. Because someone, if you think about this, someone who shows up confidently in the world, if you can think of someone who is like that, they don't have a hard time making decisions. Not at all. If you look at the behavior of successful business owners, CEOs, global leaders, even our actresses and actresses, if you look at their behaviors, you will see that they all have one thing in common, and that is their ability to make decisions. And they make these decisions confidently because they have a strong self-image and they have a strong belief in themselves. And so I always challenge individuals to really look internally on how you see yourself, how you see yourself in relationship to other people around you, and how you view yourself in relationship to the world in general, globally. Because people who make clear and quick decisions, they are clear on their vision. That's what we're here to talk about, is how do you get clarity on your vision? You get clarity on your vision and on your purpose by doing the self-image work. Because if you have a strong self-image, your purpose and your vision is clear. It's clear as day. It's clear as the color of your eyes, the color of your hair. It really and truly is. People have clarity around their goals and their ability to achieve them if they have a strong self-image. And these individuals, they wake up every single morning knowing their purpose, knowing they are going to go out in the day and walk in their purpose. They know what they were meant to do from the very being of their soul. It's a powerful thing. And it requires you to really, really self-reflect and to look within. Because all of your fears, all of your worries, it's translated into this state of mind. It's translated into this state of mind of worry. And the worry is caused by indecision. So therefore, this is a state of mind that you have control over. You have control over the state of mind. And you can eliminate the habit of worry by reaching a decision. It really is as simple as that. It really and truly is as simple as that. Because once we've reached that decision, we will then follow a definite plan of action, and our mind will no longer be unsettled. It will be clear. It will know what direction it needs to go. And you may not know all the how, but you will have clarity because you've made that decision. The bottom line is decision making really is not something you can avoid. Ultimately, in the end, you will be forced to make a decision. And why allow yourself to get into a situation where you are then forced? Because that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. So rather than continuing to avoid, make a decision. That's right, Delroy. Reach a decision and make it so that your mind is no longer unsettled. You know, Bob Proctor, he talks about this, and actually in your workbook, I've included this article around decision making that Bob Proctor wrote himself. I would encourage you to read it if you haven't already. And so he talks about this, you know, that he explains when you're making a decision or establishing a goal, you need to ask yourself these questions. This is what you need to ask yourself. Am I able? Am I able to do this? Well, yes, we all have the abilities. We all have the capabilities. And so the second question you need to ask yourself is, am I willing? This is very different. This is a different question from am I able? Because it's asking if you are willing to do whatever is required to go after your decision or your goal. It's very different. And those are powerful questions to really self-reflect on when you're needing to make an important decision. Are you able? Likely yes. Are you willing? And you need to answer that honestly to yourself. You need to be honest. My mentor, I had Kathleen on here yesterday. If you haven't caught that yet, I would really encourage you to watch that particular training where we talked about manifestation. We talked about the power of the mind. But she explained this concept of decision making really, really well. She says that when you're looking at making a decision, are you coming from a place of how can I, rather than a place of I can't? That's a really, really important question to ask yourself. Are you coming from a place of how can I? How can I accomplish this goal, this task? Or are you automatically saying, I can't because of X? I can't because of Y, I can't because of Z. Because if you're coming from a place of I can't, you're going to continue to be stuck. Because you're not allowing yourself to be open. You're not allowing yourself to be willing, right? And so if we delve into that a little bit more, are you interested in what it is that you're entertaining? or are you committed? Really and truly ask yourself that. Are you interested or are you committed? Interested, if you're in a state of just being interested, you're going to do whatever's convenient for you. That's what you're going to do. You may wish about what it is that you want to achieve or hope, but you're just going to do what is convenient. If you are committed to what it is that you want to achieve, you will do whatever it takes. You will do whatever it takes to accomplish your dream. That is the difference. So are you interested or are you committed? Let me know. It's a hard question to really, really ask yourself. And so the beautiful thing about all of this is that once you make that decision, you will find the resources, the people, the time, etc. All those excuses that you were giving yourself, once that decision is made, they will no longer be excuses. All of that will come to you. Martinette, you're committed. I love it. And so Thomas Edison talks about this. He has this really good quote. He says that if we do all the things that we are capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. Our body, our mind is capable of so much more than we give it credit for. We stay in what is comfortable rather than pushing ourselves to that magic zone, right? But we are capable of so much. We have infinite potential to achieve whatever it is that we want to achieve. But we allow our limiting beliefs, we allow our fears, we allow external factors and people and circumstances and situations to hold us back. And so what I say to you today is no more. Don't allow that to happen any longer. You found yourself here for a reason. You committed to yourself at the beginning of this week. You made that decision to commit to yourself and unleashing your purpose. So continue to make that decision for yourself. Yes, Delroy, we have infinite potential. It is endless. The only reason we find an end is because of us. We do that to ourselves. We create that end. Nobody else. It's on us. I really and truly believe that. And so I want to talk about, I made a decision about 7 months ago to reinvest back into myself. I was scared. I sit here today and tell you that I was scared. I had all those worries that each of you have been expressing this week, whether in the workshops or in conversations that we had. I had all those worries. You know, at that time, when I made that decision to invest in myself and hire my mentor, I thought that was a huge monetary investment. I was worried. But that's because I was operating at that time of my current belief. And I had a lack money mindset at that time. So I decided to trust faith. I didn't know the how, but I knew in my heart, in my gut, in my intuition, that I needed to do this. This was my calling. It was calling to me. Thank you, Delroy. It was calling to me. So I trusted my gut and I jumped in. And I immersed myself in the teachings of Bob Proctor. I immersed myself in the strategies, in the learning. And I have had a huge shift. And I have to tell you that it really and truly humbled me. I always thought I had a good mindset. I've been a social worker for 20 years, helping people. I always thought my mindset was positive and I had a good outlook, but I did not in comparison to where I am today. And this is what I talk about. We do not realize the infinite potential that we have. And how you're going to get there once you make a decision, the how, as you said, Delroy, is none of your business. Because it will happen. Once that decision is made, the universe will provide, and you have to have faith. You have to have faith. I would not be here today in this moment with all of you had I not made that decision 7 months prior. I would not be here today with a successful coaching business had I not made that decision. I would not be here today with podcast interviews had I not made that decision. I would not be here today co-authoring in a book had I not made that decision. I did not know that all these opportunities were going to come to me. The how I did not know, but I made that decision and I had faith. Faith is not the knowing how, it's trusting you will get there. Martinette, that is so true. That is so true. And so my announcement for each and every one of you is I have been blessed with the opportunity to bring this esteemed program to my coaching program and to all of you. I have been blessed. I have partnered with the Diamond Academy and with my mentor, Kathleen Cameron, as one of the first elite Diamond Academy success and manifestation coaches. It's very exciting that I'm able to bring this to you because I believe so strongly that we all have such endless potential and we just need to unlock it. We need the tools, we need the guidance to unlock it. And I can say 110% that if you immerse yourself in this material, you will unlock your potential. Look at my example. And if you don't want to look at my example, Kathleen, she built a $2 million business in less than a year. In less than a year. And she did that using the power of her mind and immersing herself in this material. She invested in herself. She hired a coach who taught this material. It's very, very powerful. And so this is what I have to offer each and every one of you. if you decide to take this leap of faith, if you decide to make a decision. You will get the Thinking into Results program. You will get weekly group coaching with Kathleen herself, facilitating the Thinking into Results program. And you will be supported by me. You will get individual one-on-one sessions with myself twice a month for the 6-month duration of the program. So not only do you get weekly group coaching, you also get individual one-on-one coaching by myself. You will get a self-taught course through the Proctor Gallagher Institute called Magic in Your Mind. This is a 6-week program. You get that included. You get a private and intimate Facebook community that is specific for this program with additional resources, additional support, surrounded by individuals who are all striving to be and do the best that they can. You get lifetime access to this material. You get a digital participant guide that helps you, walks you through step by step in your journey. And then once you're 3 months in, you get an exclusive mastermind group where you can all work together and mastermind together. So the cost for this program, with everything that I mentioned above and so much more, is $6,800 USD. But I'm going to give you an additional bonus. For the first 10 people who decide to join, you will get an exclusive mastermind call valued at $2,000. That will be for you, over and above everything else that I mentioned. This is a limited time promotion, and I'm doing this on purpose because I don't want to breed into your indecision. And so it's a limited time promotion. The cart will close on Wednesday next week at midnight Eastern Standard Time. And so I want to leave you with an excerpt from Neville Goddard. If you have not read any of his books, I would highly encourage it because he really truly talks about faith, the power of awareness, believing in yourself. So he says, desire is the mainspring of action. When we break a habit, our desire to break it is greater than our desire to continue in the habit. To desire a state is to have it in your hand. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Bob Proctor says this all the time. By assuming the feeling, by assuming the emotions and the feeling of having your wish fulfilled, and then living and acting on this conviction, inspired action, it alters your future in harmony with this assumption. It alters your future. And so again, I say, you would not have sought me had you already not found me. How powerful is that? You would not have sought me had you not already found me. We are always creating. We're always in a state of creation. And the universe provides what you need. And so if you are ready to make a decision today, put decision in the comments below. If you're ready to no longer allow yourself to be in this state of worry and ambivalence and an unsettled mind and damaging your spirit, I want to see decision in the comments below. And if you need more information, If you want to hop on a call or speak with myself or Jordana, drop Breakthrough and we will be in touch with you. Decision Martinette. I love it. I love it. I'll be in touch. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. Truly, truly. Tomorrow is a check-in post. Sunday is the final live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will drop information on this offer that I talked about. There'll be a post going up in the group later today with all of the details. Please reach out if you have any questions. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Sabrina.